Oh, my name is not Spectacular Rectum. I am Skeptical Spectrum, and I'm tired of all the nonsense. And that's not what this video is about today. This video is about this guy's going around, one of the Trump's lawyers, and he's going around and saying the guy was using free speech. He was only asking Pence to do this. He wasn't telling him to do it, like when you're at work and your boss asks you to lock up for the night and you say no. That's kind of, except Pence's boss was president of the freaking United States. But the other part was that the lawyer dude, I forget which one of the lawyer dudes it was saying that the certified votes is the elector votes. Oh, the alternate electors are real things. Guess what? Alternate electors are real things. But because I'm a liberal leftist, I'm going to take exception to the intent of him saying that there are such things as alternate electors. I think we all know that there are even faithless electors who don't have to go with the popular vote. I think that a lot of things about the Electoral College is the kind of that they decide to vote with the voters. So it's a weird system anyway, but I guess I can make this video very short. Um, the guy is saying that when Trump was trying to bring in the electors, I mean, he did a series of things. He sent out um, uh, lies and had his friends say lies about dead people voting and all that kind of thing. I think probably one dead person voted, but give that person a break. They were dead and able to vote. I mean, I think, in fact, we should be applauding dead people who are still somehow able to vote, right? Number two, they were really overblowing the idea of how many zombie voters we had. I saw one at ours, and he was still freshly dead, and his nothing was falling off or anything, and he didn't even really smell that bad compared to us normal Floridians. But the big thing I want to talk about is not all of the scams he tried to pull off, because that's what he did. He had a series of scams that he tried to pull off. And finally, by the way, about that Pence thing, ultimately, the January 6th invasion was a threat to Pence's life to obey Donald Trump's request that he does the right thing. And Trump even said maybe they should have hung him or some crap like that. But let's move on just to the one topic so I can make this short for you. That there's a thing called electors. There's a thing called faithless electors who have more flexibility on what to certify. And then there are fake electors. So here's how it works, and it's going to be a pretty abrupt ending to the video, I think. A, to be an elector, to be an alternate elector, which is a real thing, your state has to swear you in as an elector. And I think that works like if you can get enough people in Congress or some committee to approve it. None of his electors were even trying to get sworn in. That wasn't even a thing. And none of them were sworn in. That would do it right there. That right there, Trump knew this. He had lawyers, and there were lawyers telling him he shouldn't do what he's doing, but there were other lawyers telling him otherwise. And there were some lawyers that just gave up because they would rather be in his good graces, right? So that's point number one. They had to be, in order to be alternate electors, they had to be sworn in just like the original electors. That's number one. They were not. Number two, by the time they came along trying to bring these fake electors in, with their fake ass documents that are embarrassing compared to the real documents that the states use, which are quirky, sometimes historic looking. But almost every state's looks different than the other one. These guys just had a bunch of copied, mimeographed, identical things that was supposed to be representing every state. So that's another thing. They probably weren't using the right documentation, and that probably would be an issue during a normal election. But for me, it's probably small potatoes right now. By the time they went to submit them, which is a little bit before January 6th, all of the states had certified their electoral votes. They don't do that until the very final step. They are trying to make sure that all the electoral votes are counted accurately once, twice, thrice. They're trying to make sure which ones, if there were faithless electors, did they go with the popular vote in their district or whatever the hell? And they 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 have to be absolutely sure before they certify, because when they certify, there is no going back. Those are the electoral votes. It doesn't matter how many people object in Congress or the Senate to the electoral votes. This is a state's assignment. They not only swear in the electors, but even if they swear in alternate electors, then everybody has to write down on their little pieces of paper or push their little buttons on their little computers and say who your electoral votes are going for. So I'm Jim. I have one electoral vote or two. I don't know how that part works. And I say my electoral votes are going toward Trump, or my electoral votes are going to Connie Ray Wittgenstein, or my votes are going to Biden. And then it's like they're sealed. They're signed, sealed, and ready for delivery. They're done when the states certify them. You can't uncertify them. I don't believe the state has the ability to uncertify them. They send them to the federal government merely to be counted. And yes, I guess the vice president, the president of the Senate, can entertain objections, and then he'll have to go, but there ain't shit we can do about it. There ain't shit they can do about it. So, whenever you want to understand something about American history and the pride we have, just remember there ain't shit they can do about it. Okay, so basically, the two main points are the electors have to be sworn in by the states. None of Trump's electors were. And in order to turn in your home, if you are certified by the state, you have to turn your homework in on time. Once you turn in your homework, you get it certified and you can't get it back. And then it gets sent off to the federal government, which is our centralized place of liberty.